Hi friends, welcome!
Today we will be touring France and discovering the various aspects of France, including its beautiful landscape, interesting economy and social structure, fascinating politics, and charming culture.
Join us on this journey to explore this wonderful country in Europe. France is a beautiful country full of mountains and basins. The climate of France is satisfactory for tourists because it has mild temperatures throughout the year. Northern France is cooler and wetter, while the south is warmer and drier. France enjoys its nicest weather during spring and summer. France's geography includes three major mountain ranges: the Jura Mountains, the Alps, and the Pyrenees. Mont Blanc is a popular mountain tourist destination in the Alps. France also has several basins. The Paris Basin, covering around a quarter of France, with around 178 meters of average altitude. A few more basins are the Aquitaine Basin, with about 137 meters of average altitude. The most famous river in France is the Seine River in Paris, which stretches 776 kilometers within the Paris Basin. France is split into 27 regions, but only 22 are located in Europe. The other 5 are located overseas. Paris, the capital of France, is located in Île-de-France, a region in northern France. It also has the highest population in France at an astounding 11 million people. France has varying geographical features and weather patterns, so if you want a good trip with nice weather, travel during the spring or summer and stick to the well-known parts of France.
In addition to a beautiful landscape, France has a riveting economy. France used to use the franc as their currency, but on January 1st, 2002, it adopted the widespread euro. Their economy is one of the strongest in the world, as their GDP in euros is 2.243 trillion, or in US dollars, it is $2.469 trillion. Their purchasing power parity, or in other words, valuation of country GDP, is 2.392 trillion euros, or 2.633 US dollars. France's population is 63.2 million people. However, the number of tourists who visit France exceeds that amount with 77.1 million people per year. Despite the staggering amount of tourists compared to the French population, the average household income is 26,158 euros a year, or 28,799 US dollars a year. There is a large gap between the rich and poor, as the top 20% of the wealthy earn 5 times more than the lowest 20% of the poor of French society. 64% of the French population ages 15 to 64 have a job. 68% of those people are paid men, and 60% of those are paid women. 8% of employees work very long hours. In addition, 73% of adults ages 25 to 64 completed high school or upper secondary school.
Moreover, France's strong economy is complemented by its well-built politics. Politically, France is a republic, and its government is called the Fifth Republic, established in 1958 by Charles de Gaulle. The government is based on a constitution, which was most recently modified July 2008. As a republic, France is parliamentary, but the executive branch has quite significant power as well. The executive branch is headed by the president, currently François Hollande. Presidents are elected by universal suffrage for 5-year terms and can serve a maximum of 2 terms. They appoint a prime minister, currently Manuel Valls, who aids the president along with the council of ministers to determine policy and create new legislation. The French Parliament makes up France's legislative branch and consists of 2 houses, the National Assembly and the Senate. Members of Parliament are elected by universal suffrage every 5 years. Senate members, however, are chosen by grand electors, which are mostly other local elected representatives. In making laws, bills, which are proposed by government, must pass through both houses of Parliament to become laws. France's judicial branch, the Ministry of Justice, is largely independent of the other 2 branches. Headed by the Minister of Justice, currently Christian Taubira, they have powers over running the judicial system and public prosecutors. France's civil law is the Code Civil. Lastly, France is currently governed by the Socialist Party, but also has numerous other political parties. On the right, France has the Popular Union movement. Center-right is the New Center and the Union of Democrats and Independents. In the center, France has the Democratic Movement. Finally, on the left, France has the Socialist Party, the Radical Left, the French Communist Party, and the Green Party.
Now we've arrived at one of France's most defining features. Paris is the cultural center of France, and its fashion, food, and tourist locations are famous worldwide.
France is a major world capital of fashion. Paris hosts many fashion shows annually, such as Paris Fashion Week. Major fashion brands in Paris include Louis Vuitton, Chanel, Dior, and Lacroix. Popular fashion magazines in France include Elle, Les Femmes Actuelles, and Marie Claire. In cities like Paris, Lyon, and Marseille, there are many department stores and shopping streets that offer the latest trends in clothing.
Food plays a large role in French culture. Popular French breakfasts include simple croissants as well as other pastries. Lunches also consist of sandwiches, baguettes, and quiche. For dinner, the French eat anything from steak frites to escargot. French desserts are popular worldwide and known for their delicate flavors. Notable desserts include macarons, not to be confused with macaroons, eclairs, mousse, crème brûlée, and crepes. France is also known for its cheeses. Although France has hundreds of different cheese varieties, popular French cheeses include Brie, Camembert, and Roquefort.
France has plenty of ethnic diversity, including groups such as Celtic, Latin, Slavic, African, and Indo-Chinese. Different ethnic groups also bring different religions. While Catholicism remains as the dominant religion of France, Muslims, Jews, and Buddhists can also be found.
France has many different tourist locations, including the Louvre, the Eiffel Tower, the Palace of Versailles, and the Arc de Triomphe. The Louvre is one of the most famous art museums in the world. The Louvre contains famous art pieces from all over history, ranging from ancient Greco-Roman to Romanticism. Some of the Louvre's art pieces are Da Vinci's Mona Lisa and Jericho's The Raft of the Medusa. The Eiffel Tower is often seen as the cultural symbol of France. Built in 1889 as the entrance to a world fair, today it remains as one of the world's most famous structures. Another landmark is the Palace of Versailles, which was built by Louis XIV. Finally, the Arc de Triomphe is a monument that was built to commemorate those who died in the Napoleonic Wars. Today, it stands to the west of the Louvre and is a popular tourist attraction.
Aside from the tourist attractions, France's culture is also focused on sports. The most popular sports in France are football or soccer, rugby, and horse racing or horse trotting. France's national soccer team is Les Bleus. They won the World Cup in 1998, beating Brazil 3-0. They also won the European Cup in 1984 and 2000. The first rugby team in France dates back to 1872 with Le Havre. They started playing the Five Nations in 1910 and won their first match in 1911. They had to wait until 1959 to win the Five Nations, 1968 for the first Grand Slam, 1977 the second time, 1981 for the third, 1987 for the fourth, and finally 1998 for the fifth time. France is the world leader in horse trotting races. They even created their own breed, the French trotting horse. France hosts the famous Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe race, with the winning prize clocking in at 4 million euros. Other contests include the Prix d'Amérique and the Prix de Cornulier at the end of January. Also, there are the Prix de Paris and the Prix de France during February. In addition, cycling is a common hobby, and the most famous event in France is the Tour de France. This year, it runs from Saturday, July 4th to Sunday, July 26, 2015. The 102nd Tour de France will be made up of 21 stages and will also cover a total distance of 3,360 kilometers. The cyclists and competitors will face 9 flat stages, 3 hill stages, 7 mountain stages with 5 altitude finishes, 1 individual time trial stage, 1 team time trial stage, and finally 2 rest days.
France is a beautiful and interesting place in Europe which comprises of a beautiful geography, interesting economics, well-built politics, and the world's most famous fashion, culture, and food.
Thanks for joining us. Au revoir!